Yoga practice today will assist us with balance. So balance not only in our physical bodies, but also balance in our lives. So as we arrive, let's find a comfortable seat. And as you settle into this present moment, arriving for your practice today, begin to bring a little added exaggeration to your breath. And so by this, I mean really invite in a slightly deeper inhale than is naturally flowing in at this point. And then as you're ready, go ahead. You could exhale out through your nose or out through your mouth. Do this 2 or 3 more times. Inhale deeply. And then exhale in your own way. Again, maybe out through the mouth or out through the nose. Full breath in. Maybe the fullest breath yet today. And a letting go exhale. And as you take a moment here, just shifting gears in your comfortable seat, I'll share the reading for today. So just allowing all of the layers of yourself to arrive as you're in your seat. Today's reading is The Edge of Center. This is a 14th century Japanese quote. All tempest has, like a navel, a hole in its middle, through which a gull can fly in silence. From across the centuries, this nameless voice tells us that at the heart of all struggle, there is a peaceful, enduring center, if we can only reach it. All the wisdom traditions affirm this. Still, a paradox of life is carried here. For the gull flies through the peaceful center. It does not live there. The work, it seems, for us is to draw sustenance from that central, eternal space, without denying the experience of the storm. Repeatedly, we are thrown into the storm and into the center. When in the storm, we are exacerbated by our humanness. When in the center, we are relieved by our spiritual place in the oneness of things. So to find the center and spread our battered wings is to feel the God within. Our constant struggle is in living both sides of this paradox, for we cannot get to the center without going through the storm that surrounds it. Yet the storm of human experience can only be endured by knowing what the gull knows. The storm can only be survived from the center. And how we pass each other from storm to center and back. There, you'll find the trials and gifts of love. So as you're here with your eyes closed in your comfortable seat, let your inhalation call the gull of your spirit to your center. Breathing here with that awareness, inhaling and exhaling, inviting the inhalation to call the gull of your spirit to your center. Inhaling deeply and letting the breath call the gull home to your center and to the center of all, the oneness of things. And with your exhale, exhaling deeply and feel the edge of the storm and the edge of center, knowing that our breath is the edge. We inhale to the center of all. Exhale, feeling the edge of the storm and the edge of center. From the Book of Awakening, by Mark Nepo. So, with this awareness, as we navigate our practice today, let's bring our hands together in Anjali Mudra in front of our hearts, letting this mudra bring us to that central awareness. Inhaling, calling yourself home to your center. Exhaling, being aware of your edge, the edge of the storm and the edge of your center. Knowing that this pause with this body yantra, our hands at heart center, is energetically already bringing us to balance. In addition to our group intention, if you would like to set a personal intention for your practice today, please take a moment to do so here, allowing our heads to bow towards our hearts. Breathing in that compassion of our heart space. Breathing out that unconditional love. And having set your personal intention, or just continuing with our balanced breath here, on your next inhalation, begin to press your hands up to the sky, a nice big stretch up. And as you exhale, sweep your arms wide, extending out through your arms, out through your hands, out through your fingers until your hands touch the earth. Let's sweep the arms again, perhaps reminiscent of that gull as you inhale, reaching your arms up, calling that gull home to center. And as you exhale, extending your arms out, aware of the edge of the storm, the edge of your center. Let's do that a couple more times. Let it feel right for your body today. As you're inhaling, reaching up, making any adjustments through the alignment of your head and neck. And as you're exhaling, the arms back down, just tuning in to how your body is feeling today. Let's do one more time, inhaling all the way up. And exhale, sweeping your arms all the way back down. Good. On your next inhalation, reaching one arm all the way up high to the sky, we'll take a lateral stretch here, hinging over to the side. And we'll stay for a few rounds of breath, inviting your shoulders to relax, softening the side of your neck. Long, slow, deep breaths here, allowing for the anchoring of our seat to provide us a little more freedom for our wings. Good. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, let that arm come back down. We'll ground with our hands on the earth. Inhale through the central column, tall spine. Exhale, maybe relax your shoulders again. When you're ready, inhale the other arm up high to the sky, and then exhale as you hinge over to the side. Again, take your time here, letting your breath navigate the inner landscape. Perhaps finding awareness of areas that have pockets of tension, and as if you could breathe directly in and out of those spaces. Shoulders are relaxed, breath is steady and smooth. And then take your time. We'll inhale, coming up, and then float that arm back down. When you're ready, exhale. Take a full breath here at center, tall spine. Relaxing your shoulders again as you exhale. We'll move into a twist. Reaching both arms all the way up high to the sky. Inhale deeply. We'll twist to your right first. So bringing your right hand to the floor behind you, your left hand may come across to rest onto your right knee. Looking gently over your right shoulder, let's take 3 full breaths here. After those 3 rounds of breath, inhale to center, reaching all the way up. Remember, calling that gull home to center. And then on your exhale, you'll twist to your left. Twisting, we're aware of the edge of the storm and the edge of our center. We'll take 3 full breaths, gently turning the head to look over the left shoulder now. On an inhale, when you are ready, come back to center, reaching up. And let's bring our hands to our hearts again, taking a pause. That little reminder that at any point during practice or during our day, we can find the pause. We can pause, remember our intention, and tune into our heart space. Full breath in, full breath out. Releasing your hands down. If you would like, you can switch the cross of your legs, maybe shifting to the not so usual cross. Be gentle and mindful of how that feels for your knees and your hips. We'll do a little circling here of our spine, so we'll bring the torso forward and then rolling all the way back. So the painting behind me is called Goddess Takes Flight. It's a pretty appropriate one for always, but Goddess Takes Flight. It could be that reminder of the gull coming to center, or the reminder of our own self taking flight towards our intentions. Good. A couple more times, maybe you're closing your eyes to really tune into the sensations in the body. And you can move as fast or as slowly as you would like, making your circles the size that feels right in your body today. And then we'll change the direction. So as you circle around the other way, maybe you decide to change the size of these circles based on what you're feeling. Maybe there's a little more awareness of a sensation that's holding on in your low back, or maybe even your neck and shoulders. And you want to navigate that more mindfully with pure presence, adjusting as needed, responding to what we're finding out moment to moment. If you would like to continue a few more times, by all means. When you are feeling complete, we'll circle back to center, right at center. Inhale deeply, and maybe a cleansing open mouth exhale. Good. We will shift to hands and knees. If you would like, you can put a folded blanket under your knees for a little extra support. Coming on to hands and knees, positioning your knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders, and we will begin our spinal movements. In cat and cow, with your inhalation, tilt your pelvis so your sitting bones point up. Bring your heart forward, brightening your heart forward, maybe a gentle lift of your chin. And then with your exhalation, you'll reverse this curve of the spine. So rounding your pelvis in the opposite direction, sitting bones start to point down, belly squeezes in, helping to arch the mid-back. Press into your hands to stretch the upper back and release your head. Now you'll continue this with your breath. So you're coordinating breath and movement. Inhaling cow pose. Exhaling cat pose. Again, if it's comfortable, you might close your eyes to really tune your attention to your inner landscape, noticing the sensations in the body. You might experiment in cow pose as if you're trying to pull your knees and your hands towards each other. You may feel a little additional stretch through the ribs. Just experimenting or continuing with the cat-cow variation that works best for you. Let's take 2 more rounds at the pace of your breath. And moving into our child's pose, shift your knees a little wider apart. Your big toes can touch each other. And as you start to move your hips back towards your heels, it may be available to walk your hands forward, resting your forehead and your arms onto the mat. If this variation isn't working for your knees today, you could stay a little higher up, lowering to your forearms and stretching your back in the way that's right for your body today. Whichever variation you are in, let's find 5 more rounds of breath here. Slow, steady breaths. Inhaling, we call the gull to center. Exhaling, we're aware of the edge of the storm and the edge of our center. Take your time. If you would like to stay longer, by all means. When you are ready, when your 5 rounds of breath are complete, return to your tabletop position. Stretch just your right leg out behind you. So we'll keep the toes onto the earth, stretching a little forward and back here. You may feel a stretch in the bottom of your foot, or perhaps a little awareness of your calf muscle. And then switching sides, lower that right knee down, take the left leg back, toes tucked under, and stretching through your calf, maybe a little forward and back, pressing forward and back to stretch your toes, the bottom of your left foot. Awareness here through the strength of your center. So the core is slightly engaged. This helps to support the spine. Let your neck be nice and long, maybe even looking forward on your mat in front of your fingers. And then lowering your left knee back down. We'll come into a twist. Beginning with the left arm, we'll do a thread the needle. Reach your left arm high to the sky. Maybe it's available to look up towards that top thumb, and then thread the needle, bringing your shoulder and arm and head all the way down to the mat. Now as you position yourself here, shoulder opener, twist, forward fold, maybe that left hand stays on the ground right in front of your face, or it could be interesting to reach the right arm up to the sky. Maybe you bring the right hand to your low back, or even scooting it a little around the side, maybe tucking your fingers into the left hip crease. If none of those work for your shoulder, you want to tend mindfully to that right shoulder, you could always keep your hand onto the mat. Let's take 3 more full breaths, whichever variation of thread the needle you find yourself in. Once again, we'll plant the right hand onto the mat and reach the left arm to the sky. As you reach your left arm up, you may look up, twisting open, and then returning to your tabletop position. Take a full breath here, a strong table, neck is long, spine is flat. And then we'll do the second side. On your inhale, reach your right arm all the way up high to the sky, look up. Beautiful, and then we'll thread the needle, bringing arm, shoulder, and head all the way down to the mat. So again here, maybe the left hand stays. Maybe the left arm reaches up to the sky, giving us a little bit more of a twist open. Lots of variations here. It might be that you bring your left hand to rest on your low back, or even hooking your fingers in the right hip crease. Choosing the variation that is the most loving and mindful of what's happening in your body today. 3 more full breaths here. and thread the needle. We'll come out the way we went in, so plant your left hand when you're ready. Inhale your right arm high to the sky again. Look up. And then back to our tabletop position. Flat spine, long neck, full breath in, full breath out. Step your hands one handprint forward. We're moving into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, and stretch your hips up to the sky. You could lift and lower your heels a couple of times. Maybe alternate pedaling one heel at a time, bending the opposite knee. And then take a moment in this downward facing dog to really stretch your spine. Full breath in, full breath out. And lower your knees back to table. I'm going to turn and face you so you can see what we're doing, but you can stay right where you are. We'll come up to a tall kneeling position and shift our right leg straight out to the side. As you shift your right leg out to the side, we're setting up for gate pose. The left toes could be flat on the earth or they could be tucked under. Choose what feels best for your left knee. Right hand onto your right leg. Inhale your left arm up high to the sky. We're taking a lateral stretch. So as you hinge over to the side, let your fingers on that right leg be very light. We want to make sure we're not putting a lot of pressure onto that leg or that knee. Press down through your left knee to get a little more of an anchor, stability in the storm. Relax through your shoulders. Full breath in, full breath out. We don't have to go very far to receive a lot of stretch on the side body. Find 3 more full breaths. Inhale, calling yourself home to center. Exhale, aware of the edge. When you're ready, come all the way up. Inhale. And exhale. Both arms up high to the sky. Inhale. Bringing your arms back down. Exhale. Bring that right leg in. Take a moment here at center, maybe even as if you had back pockets, sliding your hands into those back pockets, drawing your elbows back. As you draw your elbows back, you may feel a little added stretch in the upper back as your shoulder blades come a little closer towards the midline, giving us even more opening through the thoracic spine. And then we'll release our hands, circle our wrist, full breath in, full breath out. Circling both directions, really checking in with the sweet joints of our wrist. And then we will take our second side. Step your left leg out to the side. Toes may point forward here for gate pose. On an inhale, reaching your right arm up high to the sky, and then exhale as you hinge over to the left. So again, just very lightly with that left hand onto our leg. This side could feel very different, so moving into your lateral to the point that is authentically true in this moment. As you're breathing along the right side body, let your exhale remind you to relax the shoulders. So we are calling ourselves again and again home to center while maintaining awareness of the edge. Smooth and steady with your breath. Good. Take your time. We'll inhale, coming back up. And exhale. Take both arms up. We'll inhale here. And exhale. Taking that little extra time there so we can get that odd angle of our leg and our hip. Let's bring that knee back in. Once again, hands as if we had back pockets. So again, I will turn. You can stay right where you are, but turning to the side, I'll show you as if we had hands in back pockets. We draw the elbows back as we're pressing forward and down slightly, just getting a little posterior tilt of the pelvis. We want to keep the core engaged so that we're keeping that front body as mindful as the back body. As you're opening up through the thoracic spine, drawing the elbows back, full breath in, full breath out. Keep your forehead relaxed, your jaw soft, relaxing through your tongue. And then slowly release. Again, we'll circle out through our wrist, being very mindful of these little bones in our wrist, tending to them with loving care. Let's come back to table. From here, moving into our downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, send your hips up high to the sky. Let this really be about the spine here. So you may even micro bend your knees while keeping your hips reaching up and lengthening your whole spine here. So rather than having this variation be about stretching the legs, that little bend in the knees, we can tilt the pelvis, lift the hips, and really lengthen out through the spine. Take your time as you walk your hands back towards your feet. You'll come into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Let's bend the knees quite generously, our belly resting on our thighs. Press evenly into your feet so you are comfortable with your foundation, and see if you might invite a little more release of the weight of your head. Long, slow, deep breaths here, either keeping your fingers on the earth for a little balance, or maybe taking ragdoll, holding opposite elbows. The weight of the arms may provide a little more stretch of the back line of the body. And if you took the bind, release it here. Slide your hands halfway up the legs, maybe to the shins or the front of the thighs. As you inhale, the back will come just parallel to the earth, peeking slightly forward. Stay for a moment as you exhale and send some awareness down your legs, pressing into your feet. We'll inhale again here. Exhale, forward fold again. You might still bend your knees a little, and then we'll roll to standing. So a little bend of your knees as you stack your spine, slowly rolling all the way up. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and then sweep your arms up high to the sky. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release your arms back down. Taking the arms with the breath 2 more times. Inhale, calling yourself home to center. Exhale, aware of the edge of the storm and the edge of center. Inhale, calling yourself home to center. Exhale, aware of the edge. Good. If you have any props on your mat that you would like to shift out of the way, take a moment to do that here. We will walk to the top of our yoga mats and move through some classical sun salutations. Now at the top of your yoga mat, so you have the space behind you to flow, align your feet. You might even remember the intention that you set, so your feet are aligned with that intention. Engage the muscles of your legs so you feel nice and strong here. Turning the palms forward might facilitate an opening of your chest and your shoulders. Full inhale, full exhale, strong and tall. You might close your eyes if that's available so that you can do a body scan. You may notice if there's more weight in one foot or the other, and just gently inviting balance. Noticing the alignment of your body, checking in all the way from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. And then having that awareness as you continue to move mindfully. With your next inhalation, let's reach the arms all the way up high to the sky. Optional to look up as your hands touch. And as you exhale, take your arms wide as you begin to forward fold. You might bend your knees a little bit here as you fold forward and touch the earth. On your next inhalation, lift up halfway, that flat back position. And as you exhale, plant your hands and step back to a push-up position. In our plank pose, let's lower our knees this time, but stay in a half plank. So you're forward, your core is working. Look forward slightly in front of your yoga mat. Bend your elbows like you're trying to touch your rib cage and lower all the way to your belly. Coming down, you might touch your forehead for a pause. And then on your inhale, begin to lift into a back bend. Sometimes we lift without using our hands. Other times, we give a gentle pull of our heart forward while keeping our shoulders down. Choose the back bend that's right for you today. And then exhale, we'll meet in downward dog. You could press up through table and then tuck your toes, lifting your hips high to the sky. However you get there, let's find 3 rounds of breath in our downward facing dog. As you prepare to move, you'll bend your knees, look to the top of your mat, and you might take small steps all the way up to the top of your mat. Let's lift halfway with an inhale, flat back, a lot of attention to core here, front body and back body. And then exhale, fold over your legs again. We'll come up with a flat back this time, sweeping your arms wide to support your back. Reach all the way up high to the sky. Again, optional to look up when your hands touch. And then exhale as you bring your hands to your heart center. Taking a moment here, remember your intention, breathe into your heart, and then relax your arms by your sides. There's our classical sun salute. Engage through your legs here in mountain. Full breath in, full breath out. Let's do that again. Inhale as you reach up high to the sky. Optional to look up as your hands touch. Exhale, swan dive. You're taking a forward fold. Touch the earth. Half lift with your inhale. Nice long spine. And then plant your hands, step back to your push-up position. Again, you might lower your knees to the earth. And then on an exhale, lower your belly, your chest, all the way down to the ground. Inhale as you come into cobra or maybe an upward facing dog. And exhale, moving to your downward facing dog. Allowing for these meditative movements to stretch the whole body. Allowing for this great awareness of every part of the body, from the crown of the head to the tips of your toes. After your 3 full breaths, we're making the move to the top of our mat again. Bend the knees, look forward. Now you might walk or hop to the top of your mat. Your next inhale lifts your back halfway, flat back. And as you exhale, fold in. Coming all the way up on an inhale, reaching all the way up high to the sky, gazing up as your hands touch. And exhale, hands to heart center, maybe a little smile, feeling that life force energy pulsing through the whole body. Your heart beating, your breath flowing, just calling yourself home to center again and again. We'll do one more here. Relax your arms by your side. Strong legs here, lifted through your heart. On your next inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, looking up. Exhale, forward fold, look into your heart. Inhale, lift halfway, strong center. Exhale, moving back through your push-up position. Knees can be up or down. You might move through Chaturanga Dandasana and then into upward dog, or the variation that we did our first couple of times. We meet in downward dog. Long, slow, deep breaths here. Making your way to the top of the mat. Bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, stepping or hopping into that forward fold. Your half lift is your next inhale, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Come up on your inhale, reaching all the way up high to the sky. And bring your hands to heart center with an exhale. Inhale into your heart. And exhale, relax your arms by your sides. Full breath in, full breath out. Let's step our feet wide on our yoga mat. So with this, we will take our springtime. I have a fly that got in with the spring. I thought I'd put the singing bowl on him and take him out later. Stepping your feet nice and wide on your yoga mat. We'll turn the right leg all the way out to the side. Your left toes slightly in. And giving a nice deep bend into your right knee. If it goes beyond your ankle, take your feet a little wider apart. Checking to see this knee is aiming towards that second and third toe. Good. Keeping your heart nice and lifted, strong through your legs. Let's lift the arms all the way up on an inhale. And then bring your arms parallel to the earth on your exhale. Warrior two. Gazing out over your right fingertips. We're here for 3 full breaths. Feel yourself centered right in the middle. That left hand reaching into the past, that right hand reaching into the future, and you abiding in your center here and now. We'll take a peaceful warrior with an inhale. The right arm reaches all the way up. Left hand may slide very lightly down that left leg. Maybe it's interesting or available to find the bind where you bring the left hand around, hooking it onto the top of that right thigh. If that's not working for your shoulders today, letting that left hand just very lightly be guided down your left leg. Good. Shifting into side angle here, we'll bring the right forearm to rest onto the right thigh. Now bend that leg enough so we can really rest our elbow onto that thigh bone. Beautiful. Reach the left arm up high to the sky and celebrate the openness of your heart and your chest and your shoulders. From here, turn your palm towards the right and bring your bicep by your ear. So that palm will now face towards the floor. And as you're reaching, anchor a little more awareness into the left pinky toe. Stretch that whole left side body. Maybe there's room to roll the heart open or even look up past that inner left arm. On an inhale, we'll slowly come up. Take your time. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, bringing your hands to your hips. We'll turn our legs to the second side. Turning that right leg in. Turn your whole left leg out. And then maybe adjusting so the right toes are slightly turned in as well. Deep bend into the left knee. Again, if that knee goes beyond the ankle, you might take a little wider stance. Depending on how your body's feeling today, maybe it's available to experiment. How parallel to the earth can we get that thigh bone? Let's inhale, reach the arms all the way up high to the sky. Exhale, bringing the arms parallel to the earth. You're looking out over your left fingers this time, perhaps gazing at that left middle finger, letting everything beyond it be a little out of focus. So you're just breathing here now, aware of the past, setting our intentions for the future, and fully embodying this present moment. Peaceful warrior. This time, left arm reaches up and back, right hand slides lightly down the right leg. Or, if it works for your shoulders, you might find the bind. Good. We'll shift to side angle. Take your time. Left forearm will rest onto that left leg. Reaching your right arm open, really expansive across your heart. You can always stay right here in a variation of side angle, or turning your palm to the left, bringing your right bicep by your ear. There's a long line from that right foot to the right fingers. Maybe you can roll the heart open a little more, looking up towards that inner right arm. Good. Take your time. Come all the way up when you're ready. Inhale, straightening through your legs. Exhale, hands to your hips. We'll turn our feet first parallel to the edges of the mat. Take a full breath here. And then we'll come into a 5-pointed star. With this, you'll turn your feet 45 degrees out. The inhale, the arms reach up wide and high. Your exhale, you'll bend your knees, bend your elbows. Good. Let's inhale, reach all the way up. If you would like, you might take a lion's breath with your exhale, even sticking your tongue out. Good. 2 more times. Inhale, reaching up. You can make a lion's roar if you'd like, or just that cleansing exhale. We'll inhale, reach all the way up, and then we'll release our hands down, hands onto our hips. Now turning the feet parallel to the edges of the mat, or even slightly in. So toes turn slightly in, coming into a forward fold. Optional to start by drawing the elbows back, lifting the heart, lifting the chin. Inhale. And then as you exhale, begin to hinge at your hips, shifting forward, slow and steady. Lower your hands down to the earth, into your wide-legged forward fold. Release the crown of your head towards the earth. And then if you have a favorite variation here, maybe you like to take your peace fingers around your big toes, bending your elbows out to the sides. Or you could experiment with walking your hands behind your feet, reaching those fingers back towards the wall behind you. If it's in your practice to do a tripod headstand, you could always come into that from here. Wherever you're at with this inversion, let's find 3 more full breaths. We will come to a flat back variation where we have our hands out in front of us under our shoulders, and then plant just your left hand under your face and reach your right arm straight up to the sky. Keeping the hips level here, reaching up to the sky, or again, maybe you are finding a bind. Bringing the right hand to the top of that left hip, that left thigh. We'll reach the right arm to the sky again, and then switch sides. Bringing your right hand down, plant the right hand on the floor under your face, and reach the left arm up for your twist. Here again, you could keep the arm reaching up, or bringing your left hand around your back to the top of that right thigh. We'll reach the left arm to the sky again, and then bringing both hands down to the earth. Take a moment here to micro bend your knees, engage your core, take a pause, bring your hands to your hips, pause, draw your elbows to the sky, pause, and then on an inhale, come up with a flat back, full breath all the way in, and a full breath all the way out. Releasing your hands here. Inhale, sweep the arms up high to the sky. Exhale, releasing your arms back down by your sides. And then we'll hop our feet together. Inhale and exhale. Checking in with the alignment of your feet as you stand strong and tall in Tadasana Mountain Pose. We're making our way back down to our seat. If you would like, you could sun salute your way there, stepping to the top of your mat. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, stepping back, maybe moving through a vinyasa, which would be either knees up or down. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, choosing a back bend. And exhale, we'll find our way to child's pose. Shift your hips to your heels, resting your forehead and your arms onto the mat. Honoring your journey from when we were last in this pose. Arriving here, feeling your heart rate slowing again. And that beautiful breath returning you again and again to center. Take your time, transitioning up. We'll come around onto our seat with our legs extended out in front. With both legs extended, let's bring just the right knee in towards the chest. Sit up nice and tall, give that leg a squeeze. As we're hugging in, invite the shoulders to relax again. And then optional to keep your foot to the outside of the left leg, or maybe shifting your foot so it's on the outside. So either on the inside or the outside. If we place our right foot to the outside of the left leg and it lifts our right sitting bone, then it might be better today to keep that foot on the inside. Whichever variation you're choosing, we'll find a twist. Let's reach the right arm up, sweeping it around and bringing our hand behind us. Now maybe, depending on the length of your arm bones, you could place that hand flat right against the sacrum so that it gives us a surface to twist around. Maybe our hand is a little farther out, just depending on what works best in your body to keep your spine nice and tall. Again, let's this time reach the left arm up high to the sky, and as you're twisting, maybe you hook your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Now if we do this, we want to press the knee into our arm. So neither one moves. We're not pushing the knee in. Good. We're just finding that bind and twisting here. If that's not working in the body today, then please choose the option of cradling that right leg as a means of holding ourselves steady at our center in all the twists and turns of life. Whichever variation you are in today, know that you have chosen the right one for you in this moment. Let's find 3 more full breaths. Gently, mindfully unwind, keeping your spine nice and tall, coming back to center with our inhale, extending our legs out, aware of our edges with our exhale. We'll bring the left knee in, taking a moment first just to utilize this position as a way to stretch the low back, check in with our pelvis, our sitting bones, our foundation. And then maybe we experiment bringing the foot to the outside of the right leg. If that ungrounds us, then that's not the option for us today. We can keep our foot to the outside, or rather inside, of our right leg. Left arm reaches up to get a little space in our spine, bringing our hand behind us at an angle that's right today for this body that we find ourselves in. Right arm lifts, inhale. Twisting to the left, maybe we hook our elbow on the outside of that knee. They press evenly with balance into each other to find a beautiful harmony. And as we twist, perhaps we're gazing out over the left shoulder. Take your time coming back to center on an inhale, extending legs out on your exhale. Feeling again the awareness of your edges and awareness of your center. We will do a short meditation before coming into Shavasana. So as you are ready, finding a comfortable seat. As you find your comfortable seat, it may be that you decide to sit up onto a cushion or some pillows, just giving yourself a little extra lift. And hands could rest onto your legs, maybe choosing a mudra, thumb and index finger touch. You could have your hands resting on your legs with the palms facing up or the palms facing down. Good. As you arrive into a comfortable position, as much as possible, find yourself in balance in terms of how much weight is on the right side and how much weight is on the left side. How far forward or how far back. Seeing where your center is today. Finding your way towards your center. Maybe we notice, I could lean back a little more, or to the right or to the left. And then either closing your eyes completely or taking your gaze down towards the floor in front of you. And remember that you may notice you could come in and out of balance for the entirety of the meditation. That's to be expected because balance is a constant adjustment. So for just a moment here, put a little more weight, a little extra weight, a little too much weight on the right side. And then come back to center. And then just to experiment, put a little too much weight on the left side. So just shifting a little too much weight than you normally would. And then come back to center. So as we continue with this experiment, we'll lean a little farther forward than we normally would, just to feel that, and then come back to center. And then lean a little farther back than you normally would. And once again, come back to center. You could even, as we did before, take some spirals with the body, just spiraling around the center. And then even spiraling in the other direction. Circling the torso around the hips and feeling as the weight is unevenly distributed. This is all that gathering of information. And then again, we move into center. And as we arrive into what feels most like center here, bringing the attention to the breath, invite a couple of deep inhales to really fill your lungs. And letting it go, remembering our edge. That full inhale again, just really enjoying filling the lungs. And letting it go. And now just feeling the natural breath, just noticing the breath. And you may even notice how your mind shifts as you bring your attention to just noticing the breath. Just focusing on the inhale and the exhale. Notice the balance of the inhale and the exhale. Or you might notice the imbalance of the two. You don't have to make them the same length, but just notice if they're naturally or if one is longer than the other. And from this space of center, feel your body. Notice where your body feels in balance and where it may feel out of balance. Just notice. And then you could invite your breath to move into any part of the body that feels a little out of balance. Breathe into that part of your body Inhaling and exhaling as if we could breathe directly into that part. Imagine that it could softly expand with your inhale and relax with the exhale. Just letting this moment here just to be a investigation, just curiosity with everything as it is. Feel the coolness of the inhale and the warmth of your exhale. Just notice the temperature. And feeling beneath you your past, the ground that you're on, the layers of earth, the tectonic plates that form every experience, every thought, every action, every part of you layered underneath you. Feel yourself on that ground, the ground of your past, the ground that has given birth to this moment, everything that has led up to now. And feel yourself sitting on that ground of being in the present moment. And watching the present moment fall away to become yet another layer of ground for you to be upon. Feeling above you and all around you the moment that you are moving into, that you are growing into. Feel your becoming. Feel the ground that you are on, the ground of your being. Feel, sense the energetic field that you are growing into, expanding into, unfolding into, and becoming into. And in between those two things is you, fully present, grounded, open to what is. Feel the balance between your past and your future. And in the center of those two realities is you. Trusting the ground is beneath you and your unfolding is occurring. Feel your breath, feel its balance. Feel your body. And now also begin to feel back into the room that you are in. And as you slowly come back, you might rub your hands together before opening your eyes. Just a little sensation here with that touch. And then very lightly place your palms over your eyes. This is a calming for the little muscles all the way around your eyes. Taking a couple of full breaths here again, feeling the ground that you are on, feeling your becoming, and feeling your center, feeling yourself in the present. You might even open your eyes behind the palms of the hands just for a moment, just for that little sense of ease. Before we eventually move our hands, you could even use your fingers to lightly massage your forehead. There are a lot of nerves right around this area, so it has a sweet, relaxing, calming effect for the brain. And as you release your hands down, your eyes could open towards the floor in front of you, taking in the light. Inhaling and exhaling deeply here. And then joining your hands together in front of your heart space, our Anjali Mudra again. This is a call to attention. This is that symbolic gesture of the past and the future joining. Right here, meeting in the area of our hearts in this present moment. Notice your breath again here. Perhaps gazing down towards your fingertips. This gives a relaxing position for the eyes, a calming for the brain. With a little smile, we can remember the intention that we set, and we can carry with us any parts of the practice into our day. And the inhale, calling ourselves to center, and the exhale, being aware of our edge. We'll close our practice together here, bow of our head space to our heart space, recognizing our oneness. Thank you so much for your practice. I hope that you take some time to either do Shavasana or perhaps finishing your practice in a legs up the wall or legs up the chair pose. Thank you so much. Peace be with you, and namaste.